What's up, guys? You got your coach of the Chim Chargers for our Week 10 GBA match versus Lars, also known as El Scizor, coach of the Borussia Donphan, and he's got a really cool team with Mesprit, Gengar, Kieran Black, Mega Manectric, Crocodile, and Tapu Fini. We are, of course, bringing our squad from the building video from yesterday, so check that out. Gives you all the details of my sets, link in the description as always. His team is really threatening. I mean, he's got Kieran Black, Mega Manectric, and Crocodile, pretty much 3 Pokemon that I expected, alongside with Tapu Fini. Gengar and Mesprit, pretty interesting mons for sure. Mesprit could be either Scarfed or Stealth Rocks. Same for Crocodile. Crocodile can also be either Scarf or Stealth Rocks. And Gengar, likely Z-Move. I mean, this is a Z-Move user, but it could also be Specs or Scarf or Life Orb or something. So we definitely have to watch out for that. He's bringing a lot of threats, so we have to play around them. Potential leads on his side. I'm thinking that he'll lead either with one of his momentum users being the Mesprit or the Mega Manectric. Crocodile is also an option to lead with if it has Intimidate and Rocks. That could also be an option for him, or even just Kieran Black. He could just lead with it turn 1 and then just try to do some damage just like initially right off the bat with Kieran Black, because that thing hits extremely hard. Tapu Fini I don't really see as a lead, as well as maybe Gengar. I mean, there are such things as lead Gengar, but I don't think his team composition requires lead Gengar. I think because of the fact that I felt that he was not going to lead with Tapu Fini, I guess my initial thoughts going into this match was, if I just lead Kieran, that just forces him out right away into Fini. I do pack HP Electric with E-Belt, so that is a 3-hit KO. I also have Ice Beam and Dragon Pulse, which does a ton to his team. Just overall damage wise, it does so much work to his team. So I guess my other goal going into this match, besides my lead, was to try to, I guess besides winning, was to try to see if I can put in work with my heat sets. I'm packing Scarf Gligar, Weakness Policy, Empoleon. I'm packing Flame Charge, Magmortar. So it's a kind of really offensive team, and I'm hoping that we can at least showcase some of the sets, if not all of them, all of the cool sets that I'm bringing this week. So with that in mind, let's just go ahead and see what happens in this match and get right into it. I'm getting rid of the Fini is very important for Kieran, as well as I guess Scarf Gligar can really deal well with his Gengar and his Manectric, which both he brought. So that's gonna be pretty fun to see if we can do that. Let's get right into it and let's begin the battle, and let's see what happens. Let's see what goes on down here with Lars challenging me, of course. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna lead with the Kieran, as he actually leads with the Mesprit. So nice that he did not lead with Tapu Fini right off the bat, so I can actually predict him to want to go right for the U-turn, turn 1, switch out of here, and likely going into his Tapu Fini. I'm going to predict that turn 1, and he does bring it out. Nice Walnut. I'm going to go right for the, he gets up his Misty Terrain, while I go here for the HP Electric. We can see how much damage it does. It does a decent amount of damage, not bad at all. For a hidden power plus E-Belt, not bad at all. And I'm going to expect a Fairy move to come out here, so I am going to switch out. I don't want to stay in on this thing, and I can go here into Magmortar as he goes for the Nature's Madness. So pretty cool move. I'm thinking since he has Nature's Madness, he probably has Moonblast. I'm not sure if he has Scald or not. Could have Defog, Taunt maybe. So he does switch out here, leading me to believe that he feels very threatened, I guess, right now by this Magmortar. So he switches out into Kieran as I predict a switch here, go right for the Flame Charge so that I can be faster. Crit doesn't really matter, it did very little damage anyways. And I can go ahead and unleash my Z move on this Kieran Black, the all-out pummeling from this Magmortar. I'm 252 modest, so this thing should knock out this Kieran Black. It should definitely knock it out 100% of the time. Look at this, all-out pummeling. This thing is getting destroyed, or so I thought it was 100% of the time. It lived, and I'm like, whoa, there's no way. Like, this thing has to be like super invested in Spadef. So he drops a Fusion Bolt, knocks out Magmortar. So I'm like, okay, this thing has to be, it probably does not have a lot of offense. It probably has max HP, almost max Spadef. It has to be, because this thing is really bulky. So I'm going to bring out my Agility, Weakness Policy, and Empoleon. I go right for the Agility, and I'm actually faster than Kieran Black. So that kind of confirms my my belief on this thing being very bulky and not much offense or speed. So he goes for the Roost here, gets off a good amount of health back. And I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and see if I can live this Fusion Bolt, because I'm pretty sure I can. I'm going to go for the Flash Cannon. I'm able to live a 0 attack Fusion Bolt 100% of the time. So he does go for that, and it's time to see if my theory is correct, and we are able to live. So that's awesome, and we can activate our Weakness Policy. Put him in a very precarious situation here. He's in a bit of a predicament. I'm going to go here for the Flash Cannon and knock out this Kieran, because he can't really switch out to anything and afford to take damage with anything else. But getting rid of Kieran is so nice. That thing was such a threat. such a pain to deal with, so I'm glad we got rid of that. So he's gonna go Finny. Unfortunately, I wish Finny was lower, and I wish that HP Electric did even more, because as you can see, we can go for the Flash Cannon here, and it does not knock it out. So I guess he'll be able to knock us out here, but thankfully we did get to show off not only our Magmortar set with the all-out pummeling, but also Weakness Policy and Empoleon. So you guys know, we were packing the heat for sure. So I'm gonna bring out my Kyurem onto Tapu Fini, which you don't see too often from a regular Kyurem, and he's gonna be switching out here, wanting to save his Fini, and he brings in his Mesprit. So I'm like, okay, maybe I guess he's just trying to save it for later, or not, just doesn't want to sack it off. He goes for the Healing Wish, and I'm like, okay, this thing is it's Scarf with U-turn, but I think now he's gonna want to revive his Fini, because that thing is another pain to deal with. When I thought I got rid of it, it has come back to life, and Tapu Fini's back again. So he kind of has like 7 Pokemon versus my 6, which is okay. But I'm gonna switch out here, save my Kyurem, because Kyurem is it's quite useful. It can still do a decent amount of damage to the rest of his team. Gonna go here into my Emvee Tapu Koko, knowing that I can take any hit he throws at me. Moonblast didn't do much, but I do get a Spatak drop. So now what I'm going to be doing is playing a lot of mind games with Tapu Koko. I have Volt Switch, U-turn, Dazzling Gleam, and T-Bolt. So I'm going to go for the U-turn, predicting either Manectric or Crocodile to come in. He brings in Manectric, so that's nice. I can now go into my Kyurem once again and force this thing out. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, do I want to go for the HP Electric or the Ice Beam? And if he goes Finny anyways, he'll reset the terrain. So I just decided, since I went for the HP Electric the turn 1, where I actually got the prediction right, turn 1, and I'm just gonna go here for the Ice Beam. But he actually goes for the Volt Switch. I was thinking he might want to go for like Overheat or something, but if he had that, but yeah, he went for the Volt Switch back into his Finny. So unfortunately, I don't get as much damage off as I wanted to, because I didn't go for HP Electric. Went for the safe Ice Beam here since I made aggressive plays in the beginning. But we can still like save Kyurem and weaken this thing further. So I'm just gonna switch out here. Really, my only switching now is that Tapu Koko. So I like now it's in a situation where I have to sort of play Koko a lot more, like I guess a lot wiser now, because there's less switch-ins for me. There's less switch-ins for me to bring in Koko on Finny, so I gotta play it properly. So I know every time I bring in Koko, he's definitely gonna switch out his Tapu Fini. So I'm gonna predict that nice switch here. Go right for the Dazzling Gleam onto this Manectric, and do a good amount of damage to this thing. And I'm like, I can't sack Tapu Koko. I could go ahead here and go into my Silvally, because I had it basically for Mesprit. It's a Silvally Dark. I had it for Mesprit, I guess, and now that that's gone, I can play more risky with it. So I dodged an Overheat, decided to switch out, predicting a Volt Switch, but he actually goes for the Signal Beam. And now we get to show off the Scarf Gligar coming through, pretending he's Scarf Lando. Second best Defogger, there we go. Knocking out Manectric, and he did not expect this at all. We are faster than Manectric. We are able to knock it out, so that's great. Now he brings in his Crocodile, which does pack Intimidate. So I'm like, okay, if he has Intimidate, maybe he's not Scarfed, because he could be Scarfed if he had Moxie, but he had Intimidate. So he goes for the knockoff here right off the bat. So he didn't set up rocks, leading me to believe that maybe he's Scarfed, maybe he's Scarf Intimidate. Not sure at this point yet, but he brings in his Tapu Fini now, getting up the terrain again. I can actually take this initiative to switch out here with the U-turn, go right back into Tapu Koko without having to hard switch and take damage, which would have been annoying. So I can bring in Tapu Koko now, get up my electric terrain once again, and force him out. And I mean, like at this point, basically he is going to be forced to switch out here because of not wanting this thing to go down. Because once Finny goes down, the rest of his team gets basically dismantled. So gonna go back into Crocodile. I'm gonna predict that, go right for the Dazzling Gleam. So we're making some good plays with Tapu Koko. We're making some really aggressive, really solid plays with Tapu Koko. And he's gonna be forced out here, or he's actually gonna make a double. So I'm guessing, like, is he Scarf or not? Because he made a double here. So maybe he predicted me to switch out, expecting him to be Scarfed. So maybe he really is Scarfed. Who knows? But at this point, I'm gonna switch out here into my Silvally, and I don't want Tapu Koko going down or anything at all. Silvally is less useful, but I mean, I could just U-turn out here once again. I definitely want to keep Silvally because it can actually check Crocodile really well, especially if he is Scarfed. So I'm gonna go here into my Kyurem, which is less useful, I guess, overall in the rest of the match. And he goes to the Moonblast, so he will be able to knock me out here with the Moonblast. But of course, once again, like I said, I can't really switch in Koko, hard switch into Koko on Finny anymore, really. So I have to sort of make sacks and bring it in safely. I get to bring in Koko right now, which is nice. And here what I do, right? I go for I believe I go for the T-Bolt, predicting him to actually not go to Crocodile this time. and actually get that right. He goes to Gengar here, and Gengar is basically weakened. My T-Bolt is disabled, so I have not revealed Volt Switch yet, which is really important. I've only revealed Dazzling Gleam, T-Bolt, and U-Turn, so I haven't revealed Volt Switch. So he's confidently going back into Tapu Fini because my T-Bolt got disabled, right? So now I can actually whip out the Volt Switch here. I've saved that for this moment right now, so he'd feel comfortable bringing it in once I got disabled from Gengar's Cursed Body. And then I can go for the Volt Switch into my Silvally to sack it off here, because at this point Coco can actually just clean up. With Gligar in the back, really nice because of the fact that it can also check Weaken Fini and Crocodile as well. So I'm going to go for the multi-attack just to get a little bit of chip damage on this Fini. He goes right for the Moonblast, knocking me out, and it's pretty much game at this point. Unless I choke or something, which I mean obviously like I know how to play the end game here. Like I can go into my Tapu Koko, get up the electric terrain, and I'm gonna predict him to want to stay in, go for the T-Bolt, knock out a Tapu Fini, which is nice, and that thing is gone. Last Pokemon is gonna be the Crocodile. Time to find out if he is Scarf or not. He gets off an Intimidate here. My best play, of course, is to stay in. 100% of the time I win if I stay in, because Knockoff does not knock me out, and even if it did, he doesn't have Moxie or anything, and even if he was +1, my Gligar would still live. We knock out the Crocodile with Dazzling Gleam, win this game, and that is going to be GG. We win it 2-0, so that's a very solid game overall. Really happy that we won it like this. I think he was telling me like it was a 50-50 at the end or something, but that did not make sense because like his best play, of course, I think was to click Knockoff. He can't lock himself into Earthquake since I packed Gligar. But yeah, like overall, Gligar would have lived from where it was at. It would have lived a regular knockoff or even a +1 knockoff, I think. +1 did like 70 something, I think, and we were above that. So yeah, good game to Lars, of course. Be sure to check out his side of the game. I'll be watching that myself. I think we were able to show off our cool sets, and I'm really happy about that, especially like Magmortar and Polion. Those were really cool. Scarf Gligar picking off the Manectric. That was one of my favorite parts, of course, and just seeing little baby Gligar outrun and knock out Mega Manectric. That was fun. And I think the way we played, like the whole mind games and stuff with Tapu Koko, really sort of sealed the game for us, because that was really important too. I like not clicking T-Bolt on Fini like mindlessly just because of the fact that he had Crocodile and Manectric. So just clicking U-Turn, Dazzling Gleam, all that kind of stuff until they were both weakened or gone, where he'd be forced to stay in and make those kinds of plays. That was just really nice, and revealing Volt Switch at the end was cool. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed this match as much as I did. Let me know what you guys think, of course. We are currently, I think, 9-1 right now, so only 2 more weeks left. So we're playing up against Geo, and then we're playing up against Crimson Seabat again. So it's 2 more rematches, I think, so that'll be pretty fun. And then we're going into playoffs, so we should be there like a guaranteed 100% now into playoffs, so that's fun. I will see you guys on the next video, and peace.